Mix and everything.
Yeah, I'm good to go whenever you are.
Oh, gonna start it in like 15 seconds once the 8 o'clock. All right, start this shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Bingermission, episode 5. I'm here joined by the one, the only, the Lghl commissioner, Brodie Mcdonald. Brodie, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. What's going on?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little shy because my camera tonight's like blown up. Last week I had 3 people, and now it's only 2, so people get to see how truly fat I really am tonight. So I'm a little upset by that, but I'm doing all right. We just, do another show here. Brodie just wanted to do it right away after he saw it last week. I think you had a good time watching Brando absolutely rip Lou to shreds.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. That was fucking wicked, man. He was just giving it to him. Such a quiet guy, and he gets on there, fucking Mr. Business, and just like absolutely made Lou his bitch. It was pretty funny.
I was impressed with Brando, but yeah, not only did he shred Lou to pieces in the interview, but he destroyed him on the virtual ice. As my prediction was dead on. The Calgary Flames beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6 games. So congratulations goes to Brando and the Calgary Flames for being the season 24 Stanley Cup champions. And congratulations to Lou also. He had a successful season as being the Eastern Conference champions. So congratulations to both of them. We're here tonight to we're going to wrap up the summer season. We're going to address all the new rules, new changes. I think Brodie wants to touch on maybe some things new with the website or whatnot. So we have a fun show tonight. And stay tuned out on LeagueGaming.com also, because after the show, after 9 o'clock, Leafy and the media team will be doing the Season 24 NHL Awards. So that should be fun. I have no clue who won anything. I don't think Brodie has any idea who won either. No. So it should be a very entertaining show. So, Brodie, we just wrapped up the summer season. I believe this was the first year we did the shortened summer season. I think it was 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
So overall, looking at the whole picture of the summer season and whatnot, would you say it was a success?
Yeah, I think it was pretty decent. We had the shortened season, obviously, because with the captain delay in the first season, so season 22, we pushed the season back a couple weeks. So when I crunched the timelines this season, I had to take a hit. So it was a little bit shorter. Being short is decent too. I don't really mind it, and some people don't mind just a little bit of an action. I know some of the guys in the NHL who have been around for a long, long time are him and hawing and talking about how they wish maybe maybe there was no summer season, but at the same time, I think that I think it went pretty well considering.
I'm a big guy who is not a fan of the summer season, even though he played in it. Like, I definitely think we should get rid of the summer season. Like, we're all entitled to our opinions, but it's kind of hard to say to get rid of the summer season when you have geeks like Lghl, who's in the chat box every 5 minutes asking if people have 6 in September when the new game comes out in a week. So I guess it's kind of hard.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of kids do live for it, so I guess you kind of have to do a summer season. So looking at the big picture, I think there weren't too many issues. My personal issue was with I'm not even addressing what I did to my AHL team. I'm talking about what happened at the trade deadline with a lot of teams. Zinky, a lot of teams did trades where they would say, "Okay, man, when we're done, you're gonna trade your player back to me at the end of the season." Like stupid bullshit trades like that. I want to ask you here now that the season is over and a lot of owners are switching and whatnot. Is the league gonna honor these trade backs that were put into the notes in the trades?
Yeah, not a chance. Last season, I had the trade note box added to the actual trade window itself. I thought it was a pretty cool thing. It would keep you guys, you can make conditions and opt out of compensation a lot easier and stuff, so we put it in. But at the same time, I put in Article 3 in the Constitution that we were, the BOG had ultimate say on like whatever you put in there, the BOG had to approve it. So things that are ridiculous like that aren't realistic and really kind of hurt the integrity of the league, we have the ability to veto those things. And trade backs is a great example of something that's pretty stupid. I don't believe in it. It's not real life. It's not real sim, so it's gone. On the PlayStation side, they were trying to trade like future draft picks and stuff, which I never had access to. So we pulled that for a reason too. So anything that's in there that isn't real realistic and isn't really going to benefit teams moving forward, they're gone. So unfortunately, yeah, trade backs they don't exist.
Okay, so I want to feel when people watch the show that I want them to everyone feel included. I mean, obviously the NHL league is not the only league. Obviously the AHL and the CHL, and I believe next year you're going to be doing the ECHL. Is that a totally different from the CHL, or is that replacing the CHL?
ECHL is kind of a cool concept. There's 27 current teams in NHL 17 for ECHL, so it gives us a potential chance to jump to 27 as additional teams. I crunched a bunch of numbers last year during the season as the season progressed, and right now, based on last season's numbers, which is a summer season and people take off, we technically had enough numbers to actually make it work last year if we had the ECHL. So essentially, what's going to happen is we're going to pull the CHL rate out. It's going to be its own separate thing. It'll be for prospect players and amateur players that opt to go to the CHL. And then basically we change the formulas around so prospect players have to play a minimum of 3 games in order to be draft eligible. And then you have to play you have to play a minimum of 90 games to jump from prospect to amateur to be able to go to AHL bidding. The whole concept is just to really highlight and showcase the newer talent coming to the league. So we've put together some things. We're going to be dropping some news about a top prospects tournament that's going to go on, I believe, in the next couple weeks, which is going to showcase the top 45 prospects that will be draft eligible for season 25. So at the end of the day, there's new players still have to go to the CHL. The benefit is I believe that this new system will allow the cream to rise to the top, and then all these good players that start out will be able to make the jump quicker to the NHL and AHL. And people that potentially may not have the skill level yet or the knowledge to go from the CHL to the AHL get a few seasons and a few cracks at the draft. Because until you hit your 90-game mark, so that's roughly 3 seasons, you're in the draft every single year. So as you progress in your career, you potentially could hit the draft 3 times and maybe be picked up along the way.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I liked your Macho Man reference as far as the cream will rise to the top. So my question is, obviously, you're doing the prospects one, but what if you're like a guy that's kind of washed up and you want to build yourself back up again? Could they go and play in the ESHL and pound the nubs if they wanted to, or I'm assuming no?
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, the ECHL right now is going to kind of fill in where the CHL is. The cool thing about the ECHL is it'll only be veterans and amateurs. So if you're a guy that hasn't been around in a while, or if you sign up late, because all of our late signups, we're going to the CHL. So late signups will go right to the ECHL now and have AHL affiliation. So yeah, if you haven't been around for a long time, or maybe you just don't make the cut for AHL bidding this year, you get to go down to the ECHL, and that's kind of how it's going to be its own league. And that's how we're going to kind of run the ECHL moving forward.
Okay, so I want to address a couple of things to finish up on the summer season before we move on. There was a lot of controversy in the AHL, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not even referring to my organization. I mean, I think that's pretty much well known what I did to my AHL team. But there was some other things with the second account. There's some other things going on. I mean, is that something you want to address? Because I feel like that's something that really didn't get a lot of mention. That's like, cause I feel like the NHL community just doesn't really pay attention as much to what goes.
Yeah, there's some things I can't really discuss, but there's basically in a nutshell, we caught. Don't turn that back on yet. So we basically we caught a couple guys that were management for Lgh's AHL team. We caught them tag recovering, so on and so forth. Can't really go into much detail how we did that, but we were able to catch them. So we ended up banning, I believe, 4 players in total. Overturned, I think, 5 games, because that's all we really had record of was about 5 games. Didn't knock them out of the playoffs. It did. It knocked them out of the playoffs and then bumped them back because we didn't get them till the final week of the season. So the AHL, it's kind of cool. I played in the AHL this season, and I played in the AHL before by choice, and it's a lot of fun, and it's super competitive. It's actually pretty crazy that for a summer season, the AHL as a total had less forfeits than like 2 or 3 NHL teams had combined. It's super competitive. Games get played. The Eastern Conference in the AHL last season, out of I believe it's 15 teams, there was only 2 teams that weren't above 500. So the playoff race was pretty tight in a short season. So the AHL tends to be like, maybe the skill level has come up quite a bit. So I believe that a lot of the AHL players could compete at the NHL level. They just choose not to. But I believe that competition level at the AHL is just as high as it is at the NHL level. So that's why we're seeing a little bit of like account recovery and that kind of nonsense, what goes on at the AHL as well too.
So I want to address that. You brought up the forfeits. That was obviously a major issue at the end of the season, not only on the Xbox side, but on the PSN side, it was pretty bad. Is that something that the league is going to start cracking down on? Because I feel like a lot of team owners are just giving up on their seasons, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was way too many forfeits, and I feel like owners are not being penalized. A perfect example, I have no beef with them whatsoever. The San Jose owner, Ace is cracked. They pretty much threw in the towel with 2 weeks left in the season, and if I'm not mistaken, he's not an owner, but now he's taking management again. So nothing against him. I'm just giving you one example, but I feel like a lot of these owners of these teams that were not competitive the last couple weeks are just forfeiting games left and right. I mean, is it something that the website or the league is going to do anything about? Because I feel like it's undermining the integrity of the league.
Oh, big time. We're like I said, I posted to everyone like, listen, moving forward, that this season it's going to be a real feeler for a lot of these things, especially forfeits. It's pretty bad when like the San Jose Sharks, for example, had more forfeits, I believe, in the last 2 weeks of the season than the entire AHL did in the complete season. That's pretty brutal. Even the crazier thing too is I believe the San Jose Sharks and potentially the Philadelphia Flyers combined had more forfeits than the entire CHL. And that's saying a lot because the CHL has come a long way, right? So
yeah, it's pretty bad.
I just feel like the NHL level on our website is a veteran community. We've all been together for a long time. Right. There hasn't been a real changing of the guard yet either. We're seeing a lot of these hot players come over that are good and they're competing, and we're seeing like some of the veteran players that the veteran players that were like really good back in VHL that have kind of walked away from the game, like the Satchmo Davises and those guys, right? So we've seen a little bit of change in the community, but nothing crazy for about 5 or 6 games. So I think that near the end of the seasons, a lot of people kind of forget what we're trying to do here, right? Like, everyone complains about how ESHL, you have no reason to play. So that's why LG thrives. So, we're trying to give you guys an opportunity to play some organized Sixes hockey, meet some new people, create clubs, and potentially go compete at a pro series level with new people you've met. And I just think that everyone has to like kind of come back to reality and kind of realize like what we're trying to accomplish here and what we're trying to do. Like only 16 teams make the playoffs. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm not handing out awards for participation every season. Everyone wants a competitive game and a competitive league, and unfortunately, there's going to be 14 teams next season that do not make the playoffs. And I don't feel it's necessary to see teams throw the towel in, and that's where the line is coming right now too when it comes down to ownership selections. Do I take a chance on a guy that could be good, who is going to bail out in the last 3 weeks of the season, or do I give a guy a shot who, no matter what happens, will play 82 games next season? You know what I mean? And that's where the balance is coming right now, and it's difficult to actually decide what to really do.
Well, I want to just bring something up, just 1 second. I just want to mention someone that I feel like maybe you should take consideration for owner next season. He's probably the all-time greatest left wing to ever play this game, and none of us are even worthy enough to shine his shoes. I'm talking about Jay Lafort. I'm talking about OO, the MVP OO. So if he's watching, I just want to give a big shout out to MVP. I hope you're letting him do management next season, despite the fact that he quit on his team because he's got no manhood and he can't handle losing. I love you, MVP, but I just want to give a big shout out to MVP. I know he always wants me to shout him out every time I do the show, so big shout out to him. So now I agree, the forfeits are a huge issue, so I think that's being addressed. So let me ask you, so we're putting a bow on the summer season here. Let me ask you, as far as the owners and the performance of the owners go, which owner surprised you? Maybe which new owner surprised you as you're like, you didn't have any expectations for it, but you felt like they did a really great job this past season?
I really liked what the Vancouver guys did this year. Vancouver's had a rough go. Like pretty much since we came over, like no one's really been able to turn the corner for Vancouver. And those guys, in a tough division, did a pretty decent job for what they actually had. And I'm really happy to see that they were able to crack the playoffs. And I'm really happy for that. For new guys, I'm really happy to see what Carolina was able to do. Bleeker was pretty close on catching up. He was a pretty successful AHL guy. And
is that the guy that after bidding was over, he had like $17 million in cap space?
Oh yeah, for sure, and he almost made the playoffs. So it just it's pretty funny because obviously when I spoke with him and he came up, like he's definitely one of those guys that really wears his heart on his sleeve, and LG's a big deal to him, and he's not going to forfeit games and screw things up. But at the same time, I said to him, I was like, man, like you're going to be in tight. I don't want to be a dick to people that apply to ownership because I don't want to discourage you, but we're building the most competitive environment as possible. And that being said, there's some really douchebag players in the league, unfortunately. And it also creates such an environment that these new guys coming in have to understand that you can't build Rome overnight. And I say that all the time. Like, look at guys like J Rules. Like J Rules walked in, did ownership for 3 seasons, won 1 cup. His first season, he was an okay year. Second season, he kind of like really made a push. And third season, he did a really hell of a job too. So I think that that's kind of the model you have to run. If you want to go from a successful AHL player to a Stanley Cup winner, you got to do it over a 3-season course, commit to it, really buy in, meet some new people, pick up some good players that actually believe in you, trust you, and want to play with you. And that's the key to success. So I was happy to see Bleeker really do something pretty decent this year.
Well,
for sure.
let me ask you, because obviously with all the forfeits that transpired and the shadiness and whatnot, I want you to think real quickly. I know it's just putting you in a sensitive position to do this as the Commish of the league. But out of all the owners this past season, in your mind, in your honest opinion, who was the worst performing owner this season, honestly?
I probably have to go with Flash Davin, man. He just didn't really have it, didn't really have what it took, and didn't really play either, which is like, why the hell are you going to take ownership if you're only going to play 3 weeks of the season? And then, talking to Nuge last night, apparently the guy went invisible in the playoffs, and that's why there was no cup banner in Nashville this year.
Yeah, baby! So even the Commish of the league, Flash, thinks that you fucking suck as an owner. Go back to the LGUHL. Brodie, I want to say, whatever we talk about the rest of the show, you made my night with that comment. That I'm really glad that now I got full confirmation of how complete of a shit show Flash Davin was as an owner. So thank you. So I think that's it for the summer season. I think we wrapped it up. We're done with that. So let's move on to the next season. The historic 25th anniversary of the LGHL. It's gone a long way. I always looked at LG for a long time. It's been around since '09, just like VHL was. I always looked at LG as like the WCW of league hockey, and VHL was like the WWF. And then, of course, the merger came about and whatnot, and that's a whole other story. And now League Gaming is like the coup de grace of virtual hockey. So, looking on to this new season, obviously you have a lot of new things in place and whatnot. Like, what excites you most about the new season?
I'm pretty happy with the owner selections. People want to chirp here and there, but I completed them last night, finalized it all, looked at everyone we had, and I feel pretty good. The first season of a brand new game always tends to be like minimal signups, and like it's hard to find guys to really commit because they're kind of worried about how the game's going to play. Having the beta that we had for 17, I think it really, really pumped everyone up, and everyone got a good feel for what NHL 17 is going to bring to the table. And I really think that reflects in our sign-up numbers, which are over 1,300 right now, and we're like 30 days from bidding. And then also looking at the quality of owners. When you break down the ownership stuff, there's some pretty good guys that are going to compete. There's some second and third year guys that want to make a name for themselves. And there's a couple new guys to the mix that have a little bit of experience. And I think that the mix, it's a pretty good mix for what we're going to have this season. So definitely having the owners is a huge, huge thing to me. And I'm pretty happy to see the guys that were able to commit. There's a couple guys I really wish would have been able to commit, but that's okay. I think their spots were filled by some pretty decent people too.
So let me ask you, looking at the list of owners that you have, who are you most excited to have as a new owner? Like all the new owners you got, like who are you saying to yourself, holy Christ, I'm just so pumped, I am ready to go because this guy took owner. Who excites you the most looking at those new owner lists?
I like Draisaitl. Like I played in the AHL last year, and they won the championship. He's a good guy, and I think he's kind of got the J rules, Boz kind of atmosphere to him where if he does things properly and does things slow, he'll be able to bring in the talent over time, and he's going to be a contender, and I believe it. Like he's decent at the game, he's a good guy. I think that he may be one of the future guys that we'll be talking about down the road.
Can I ask you a quick question? Where did Draisaitl play last season?
He was a defenseman for the Chicago Wolves that won the Calder Cup.
So that's an AHL team.
Yeah.
And you're excited about him.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. And he's in my division, right?
He is in your division, yeah.
I'm very happy about that. Okay, that's good. So, looking at all the new owners and whatnot, and all you guys you got in, there's been a lot of team swapping. If I'm not mistaken.
3. I've moved 3 so far. That's it.
And what were the 3 confirmed team swaps?
Put Tendy went to Toronto, Kev went to New Jersey, and Chislett went to Edmonton. That was the 3-way that happened yesterday.
So you've had 3 team swaps and whatnot. Who disappointed you the most that did not take owner? I think you spoke to a lot of people. Was there anyone in particular you spoke to that did not take owner that you thought should have?
The 2 guys that kind of stand out to me are it's kind of hard not to have Breezan throw it in the mix. You know, he always builds decent teams, and him and GB are always good people to have in the ownership role. Panda would have been all right too. He was a little bit rattled that I moved him from Buffalo, but it is what it is. And then everyone wants to talk about Gergs. Gergs seems to be the most common name that everyone keeps throwing it around. And the way I look at Gergs is he's high risk, high reward. He definitely could have built a pretty strong team, but he's kind of that
Elitist.
I don't know. It depends on what day you talk to him, man. Like some days all he wants to do is like, oh, this is the greatest thing, and we're all great people. And the next day he's just a dick, and so he's high risk, high reward for sure. And he really would have added to the mix. I almost pulled the trigger on, almost had him at the end yesterday, but it is what it is, and it didn't really work out. But it is.
I think it's better for the league that he doesn't. We have enough competitive. I'm not even happy by the amount of competitive teams we have because I like to pound on bad teams. That's just me personally. Obviously, looking at it outside the box is probably better. It's good for the league, but I mean that is a shame. But I think at the end of the day, guys like that who have elitist attitudes, guys like Gergs and Official Mark, and guys like Dupes who sit in the chat box all day telling people they're not worthy, but then he never plays the game in LG. So guys like that, big shout out to Dupes. So yeah, guys like that. So now you have all the new owners of place and whatnot. I want to ask you. I know this is like the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You know this is coming.
Yeah.
The AGM thing.
Yeah.
I want to know what spurred you on to propose the idea. What did you originally want it to be? And like, what was your honest opinion? But I know you brought it up, but like, let me just get your whole idea, because I mean, it's one thing to read novels on the forums and whatnot. I'd rather hear from the horse's mouth, like how you felt about it.
So if you look at, I kind of was just like looking at the potential opportunities we have coming with NHL 17. You know, I was part of the process to get the game to where it is, and I really, I noticed back in May when I played really, really beta stuff that this game had a lot of potential to be, that NHL, 11, 14, whatever your favorite NHL game is, that kind of feel to it again. So I kind of said to myself, like, what way could we really bring back the energy and bring back that to the league? Because in my honest opinion, the last 6 seasons have been good, and I'm happy that all the people that dedicated their time, like the SJU Soccers and the Brandos and the Lous and all those guys that like stuck with us through that rocky time, because the games sucked. It sucked to stay on the Xbox like 360. But now that we're at a point where we have a game that there's going to be a skill gap and it's going to be a faster paced game and it's going to be a lot of fun. I said to myself, like, what can we do to just ramp up the energy of what this game is going to be and make the league better? And I look back at some of the old Google Docs in VHL, and I just kind of reminisced about what the AGM meant there and how that kind of worked there. And then I really sat down and like I troubleshooted and said to myself, well, what was the actual problem with that, and what did I want to do? In my opinion, a free AGM didn't really allow for balance. I don't truly believe that you have to be the best player on your team to be an owner. I think you kind of said that to Brando, and I kind of agree with you. And he won a cup. We saw Bob Swagger do it and almost win a cup. We've seen other guys do it where they aren't the best player on their team and they were able to build really good teams. I think that the free AGM made that even more difficult to do. So I said to myself, there's got to be some way to balance the teams to allow you to select another manager, so to have 3 players under contract as your management team going into a season, but not truly handcuff other players and other teams. So as I bounced ideas around other people and random people, Plymmy came up with a pretty cool idea. He was like, well, do I have to have a $5 million AGM? And I was kind of like, why wouldn't you want it? And he was like, well, what if I have a guy that's like on a sick $500K contract and he's a wicked player, and I'll just make him AGM and I'll go to bidding with 4.5 more million cap than you. I was like light bulb just boom. I was like, that's a great idea, because I think that we may not see it this season in the NHL, but I do know in the AHL right now for sure, because they kind of have the same options. We're going to see teams that are going to opt to take a low salary guy and make him AGM, go into bidding with more money to build that way.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Yeah.
Why would a team want to have a 500K players in their AGM? Wouldn't they want a 15? Wouldn't they want like a guy that goes for like 10 to 12 million in bidding?
Well, what if you can't get him? What if you can't get him?
Oh, I didn't consider that. I mean, I am kind of like
like for you, like, looking at your management team, like you have Briere, like you're laughing, like you're golden. But like, what if a guy comes into ownership, maybe like a Smitter or we're looking at like Draisaitl. So if they don't have the ability to bring in a player that's worth $5 million, if they just take a guy that's like a good guy that's on a lower contract, make him AGM, now they get to go to bidding with more money than you do to spend on players. So
Now, let
now
me
they
ask
can,
you a
they
question.
can spend more money on different people and be able to pick talent that way.
Let's say they take owner for several seasons. Are they able to keep that 500K player as AGM as long as they want?
The way it's written right now is I have it set that the player has to be under contract. So
Right.
if you have a guy on a 3-year contract at 500K, he could be your AGM for 3 seasons at 500K, potentially.
Okay.
That's how it's set up right now.
Okay, because I didn't consider that because I'm not gonna lie, I am like one of the greatest players to ever play this game, so I never have any issues of finding top players to be my management because I'm just like elite. So let that settle in for a second. So I don't know what it's like to be a nub. I mean, I feel bad for them, but I guess that's a good idea. But to have the 500K thing, but yeah, I still would rather have Bria for 5 million. But I guess
sure.
I'm spoiled, and I take it for I take it for granted, so it's okay. So you have the new owners, you have the AGM thing. Now you thought 5 million was good. Now let me ask you a question: did you ever consider, because you were obviously the commissioner on VHL, in VHL they had the AGMs free. I thought it would have been better if the AGMs were free because now you're not putting pressure on the lower tier owners to find a guy worthy of that tag. They couldn't just have a guy in that free spot. I thought the free AGM was the best way to go.
No, that's way worse. In my opinion, that's way worse. Because now, so you have Briere that's free, and say a new owner has his buddy that no one knows that's free. So the true value of Briere, we'll say, is with the new cap system, we'll say it's 7 to 10. And the value of Joe Blow that's taking AGM is 500K to maybe $1 million, maybe.
Right.
But now that they're both free, now they literally are the same value, which isn't true.
Right.
But if the new system, you have Briere at 5 million, I have Joe Blow at 500K. So right now on paper, we're not the same, obviously, but I get to go to bidding with 4.5 million more cap than you do. So if there's a player in bidding that you're bidding and say he's 6 million and you can't afford more than 6 million, well, I put him to 6.5 and you can't touch him. Now you can pick talent out of bidding easier with more cap money. That's the way I looked at it for balance.
I didn't consider that.
Where free isn't free, in my opinion, they're actually the same value, even though we all know they're not the same value. And that's why I didn't want to go the free route.
I didn't consider that, and now that you made that explanation, I actually agree with you. That does make a lot of sense. I didn't really consider that. Let me ask you a question. How many signups are you anticipating for the first season in the new game, but on Xbox? You anticipating over 3,000?
I want 2,600. 2,600 gets me everything I really want for this season. Right now we're at 13 and we're a month away. So,
Right.
And there's a lot of guys hold out to sign up for AHL bidding. As crazy as it sounds. Usually when NHL bidding goes live, the signups jump about 500 within an hour because people hold out. Yeah, it's crazy. So three would be great. No, 3,000 would be pretty awesome. But with the CHL separating as well and becoming like a more of a prospects league, all of those owners are going to be told the same thing. And I'll tell them right now so they can hear me say it. Like if you're taking owner in the CHL, you're going to be bidding on prospect players. Your players on your roster are not connected to any other team, so they cannot be called up. So if you're a brand new guy to LG and you have 6 buddies or 7 buddies or 10 buddies that you play club with that no one knows, get them to sign up because you can get them in bidding for nothing, like 500K, and then you can basically club build in the CHL. So that'll increase sign-up numbers, and then we're going to add a contract system to the CHL to give them longevity of their teams. So we're going to grow from the bottom up big time, and then we may see a few guys come back.
Isn't that a bad idea though?
What?
I feel like if you
Not at all.
you just publicly said that people can build their clubs in the CHL, so what's to stop nub bashers like Nuge, who would rather play people who aren't good at the game to make himself feel better about himself? What's to stop Nuge and all his buddies to go in the CHL and pound on nubs?
They're veterans, so they can't go to the CHL.
That is true.
But I'm saying brand new prospect players. So a guy who joins LG, he was in the league last year, was his first season. Maybe he played 10 games. This year he takes a CHL ownership spot. No one really knows him because he's new to us, new to the site. So he's got maybe 4 really good friends he plays club with. He gets those 4 friends to sign up for CHL bidding. None of the other CHL owners actually know who his buddies are in bidding, right? Per se. That's a theory. So then he gets to bid on his buddies and build his team around a core of his club guys and then go from there. That's essentially what I'm saying. Play people like Nuge, that's fine. If Nuge wants to take CHL management, which he's not, but if he wants to, he's going to be bidding on prospect players that he probably has never heard of before. Because the CHL is for prospect players or amateur players that opt to go to the CHL over the ECHL. That's it.
First off, big shout out to Nuge. I love you, Nuge. I'm just kidding. And Nuge is right. I do block all the top players on Hudson. I don't have to play any of them next year, so I am doing that. I'll publicly say that in front of anyone watching. So we cover that. Now, is there any other new rule changes or whatnot that you want to address for the new season? Obviously, you have the AGM and whatnot. Is there anything else that really has kind of fallen under the radar that you want to address?
The ban buyout's kind of the biggest one. That
Can we
really
go?
wanna
Can you
change.
explain that? Because I didn't really get the gist of it. Because I don't like to read. I don't like to. I mean, Lou hurts my eyes when he writes. I mean, and then when you have to write, and no offense, Brodie, you're a good guy, but you can't spell worth of shit.
Oh, I know, it's brutal.
It hurts my eyes. So why don't you? Let's hear it from your mouth, so we don't have to spell check you anymore. So why don't you explain to everyone watching how the new ban buyout features is going to work?
Okay, so in a nutshell, the biggest problem, in my opinion, and I think the opinion of almost everyone who's been a manager on this website, is the problem with people buying out their ban. Is you can pick me up on your team. I say, you're an idiot, I hate you, I'm just going to quit the league, I don't fucking care. Buy my ban out and then go play for someone else. That's a problem, you know. It makes owners not want to ban guys. It gives players too much control in the league. And as much as I love the players and we need the players to have a league, at the end of the day, if we don't have managers, we don't have a league. So I want a system where it's fair for our managers and they don't have to deal with bullshit. The less bullshit that managers have to deal with is less bullshit I have to deal with. So in a nutshell, we changed the ban buyout policy to state that, so say Dallas picks me up in bidding and puts me on a 3-year deal. Halfway through season 25, I say, fuck it, I'm not playing for you anymore, you're an asshole, and I quit. Okay. If I decide a week later, 2 weeks later, next season, 2 seasons from now, to buy my ban out, I get placed on Dallas's AHL training camp at the current rate of pay I was when you picked me up on my contract. So it freezes contracts is what it does.
Now, let's say I have a player that I have beef with, and he's like, Jerz, I don't want to play for you anymore. You're a beast. I can't play for someone that's really fat. And I ban him. And then he buys his ban out, and then he comes back. Now, he's on my AHL training camp. Is he eligible to play on my NHL team the rest of the season? How does that work? He can't.
You can call him back up.
So that's for now. It's what's the price now for the ban buyout?
$35. Originally we wanted to go 25 per season. So if you got like a 2-season ban, it's $50. 3 seasons, 75. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's crazy. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want you to buy out your ban. I want you to stay banned. That's why I think it was fair. But we talked about it and we couldn't really program it, and so we opted to go with 35.
What constitutes a 1 and 2 season ban? What's the difference? I don't.
So 1 season bans right now are strictly only for training camp players. So guys that sign up late, randomly sign, and may not actually have played or doesn't get a shot. So if they go inactive, so no contact with the CHL managers, we give them just single season, means they can come back next season. That's so we don't really stunt our growth. Everything else is 2 season. So you quit the league for whatever reason, anything happens, you get banned, blah, blah, blah. 2 seasons standard right across the board. And then 3 seasons we save for special cases. So guys that say, like, refusal to play is huge. So if you get picked up in bidding and you go to a team and say, fuck you, I'm not playing for you, you're not coming back for the length of a whole game. That's the way it is.
Okay, that's fair.
And then obviously people at second tag and stuff, I give them 3 season bans and 6 month site ban. So that's pretty much standard.
So a 3-site ban would be $75?
No, it's not. We couldn't go that system. So it's all the same price, which is unfortunate. That's one of the changes I wanted to make. But
so it's 35 flat.
Flat, yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. That is not going to completely rectify anything. That does help keeping the players back on the teams. But what if the player is so adamant that they don't want to play for the... I mean, I guess they're just...
They don't buy out.
They don't buy out.
Because at the end of the day, I don't care if you buy out or not. I'd rather people not buy out. I wanted the whole system completely gone. But
right.
I didn't get my way.
Well, I always thought the VHL did it right. When you just basically, if you got blacklisted, it was a 2-season ban, no questions asked, that's it. So you didn't see quitting. Unless we can all sit here all day and shit on the VHL and how bad that website was ran. At the end of the day, you didn't see anywhere near the amount of kids that quit on that site at all. Like, that's
100%.
One thing I'll give the VHL. I understand Tris wants to monetize the website and whatnot. He's got to pay for the bandwidth and the servers and whatnot. I know he's got to pay for all his trips to Arabia and South Africa. Like, just want to let everyone know, like, a guy like Lghl who buys out a chat band like 50 times a day. Lghl, you're paying for Trish to go all over the world. Congratulations. So, I mean, I understand that, but at the end of the day, I still think they could do something a little stricter. I think it's a step in the right direction. But
yeah, I think we took some steps forward here. Obviously, everything that I pretty much have done in the league is everything's kind of like try it, evaluate, try it, evaluate. That's how we grow this league. That's how we get better. So in my opinion, we'll try this. We'll see how it goes, and we'll get the wheels turning again if we have to make another change. So we'll go from there.
I apologize, people. If you, I should have put a little text bar under Brodie. So obviously, Jerz on the right. That's Brodie Mcdonald on the left. For people that don't know, he's a commissioner of the Lghl. I forgot to put a little texting on you, Brodie. I got lazy. So
Yeah, it's all good.
for people who haven't figured out by now, that's Brodie Mcdonald, the commissioner of the entire hockey league on the website. I wanted, before we take questions from the viewers, I wanted to address the PSN side because I feel like the PSN players get no love. And I think the PSN side is very close to exploding because I feel like a lot of the guys that play on VG, and I feel like a lot of them are going to be coming over within the next couple of months. You're going to see a big explosion on the PSN side, and a lot of Xbox guys are playing over there too. That they want to play on both consoles. Like I've seen some of the recent signups for the third season of PSN.
Oh, it's crazy.
I was blown away. Like I think I wouldn't surprise me if PSN had more signups than Xbox.
That wouldn't surprise me either, just simply because there's so many guys that have both consoles and just want to play that much hockey. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see down the road that like we'll say 40% of our Xbox league plays PlayStation, and then we'll see a bunch of brand new PlayStation members we've never seen before. So that I totally agree with you, and I can definitely see the PlayStation side growing and getting bigger, and it already is, right? So
who now do you run the PSN league? You're in charge of that also, I'm assuming. You're probably not as hands-on with it.
So how the PlayStation, I don't own a PlayStation, I hate the console. So how it works is the PlayStation is staffed by former VHL staff, actually. It's Hodgie's over there. Birthday Machine is actually Rob Chainsaw. So if anyone old school VHL, that's Rob Chainsaw.
Not Technologic Rob.
No. Like Rob Chainsaw was at Gamertag in VHL. He was like a CHL commissioner for like 4 or 5 seasons under me on the other side.
Okay.
And he was actually management for Mashley like for a couple seasons too. So he's been around forever. Then we picked up some other PlayStation guys here and there. Added Sloshy this year. Sloshy's got really deep ties to the PlayStation side of things. So adding him to staff is a huge pickup for us.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
No, because Sloshy should have stayed as owner of the Tampa Bay Lightning and should have had me as my GM, and we could have had all our Xbox buddies stay on that team and dominate those nubs over there for the next few seasons. Instead, that stupid asshole flaked on me again and decided to do things for the better of the league and do staff over there instead of staying as owner. So, sad egg when it comes to Sloshy. So now...
Yeah, so basically all the rules are... pretty much the only reason why I'm hands-on in the PlayStation League was consistency. When we talked about expansion, we talked about what we've accomplished on the Xbox side of things. We didn't want to change anything for the PlayStation side. Like we didn't want to have 2 different leagues that run completely different, that are weird, blah blah blah. We wanted as much of the same as possible, so you could jump back and forth between each league, and the only difference would be the players. We're slowly getting there. Keeping in mind, we're going into 25 seasons of LGHL and Xbox, and we're going into the 3rd season of PlayStation. So you can't build Rome overnight, and it's a learning curve and it's a learning experience. And I'm gonna try to this season more than ever to spend a little bit more time with the PlayStation League, like public addresses and management education, and just really help them along the way. I've been pretty active on Skype with a lot of them and active via PM with a lot of them, so really open up the door for communications for those guys. It kind of ties into like another thing that me and Triz were talking about for the website. I keep pushing and asking and telling them, and I kind of want a different like form of communication on the website, in the sense of like a live instant message or like a Facebook chat per se. We had it in VHL. I found it was really effective for myself to answer questions and just to be approachable and reachable to everyone, so I could really help the league grow and smooth everything out. Players and managers loved it because you could talk trades right on the website via private chat. And we also kind of talked about how much GroupMe is like really popular. Everyone uses GroupMe because of all the benefits and features and group chats, blah, blah, blah. And I pretty much said to him, like, it'd be pretty cool if you could just like take the team chats or just take the private chat system or the chat system on LG and just like make our own GroupMe kind of thing that we could use for all of our chatting. People can make their own private chat rooms. We could have one-on-one conversations, blah, 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 blah. And the list goes on. So PlayStation uses Skype like heavily, like really, really heavy.
Yeah, they're really into their Skype, man. Like
it's probably because they're not used to having a website like what we have. That's what I always say.
I joined the team and they're like, "Yo, man, you have a Skype?" I was like, I don't want to see what you look like. I was like, I didn't realize that Skype was like text chat also, because technologically I'm like retarded. So I understand that. So PSN obviously now they have, just so you address it so people are not completely confused. There is no prepaid AGM on PSN, correct?
No, not this year.
Okay.
It's obviously, like, once again, like I keep saying that the idea is to have the leagues operating the same, right? So you can go back and forth. So that being said, like what's good for Xbox is good for PlayStation, but it just takes time, in my opinion. And this season, I presented the idea. A lot of guys liked it. A lot of guys didn't like it. And then I just kind of sat down and talked to Haji and Rob and said, like, what are we looking at for owners? And they're like, well, we got about 65 applications. I'm like, oh, fuck, that's pretty good. I'm like, well, how does it look, though? And they're like, it really drops off based on who we're bringing back and who we're going to bring in. And we don't really feel there is a benefit to actually adding this yet. It'll actually pull from the owner talent pool, which in the end really makes the league worse. And that's why we opted out this year.
In my honest opinion, the prepaid AGM would not work on PSN right now. I think they need to focus on bringing all the other good players from over there.
Yeah, for sure.
There, like they need to focus on rating VG, and when that's complete, I mean that league is really starting to blow. I'm telling you, I could see it.
For sure.
I see it already. It's definitely starting to blow up.
It's a cool community too. Like they're different. Like they're way different than the Xbox guys. I find them a lot more chill. I find some of the managers are like a little more panicky compared to like dealing with you guys. But I also have 16 seasons experience working with guys like yourself and guys that have been around me forever. So the working relationship with all of you is a lot better than what it is with them. And I think in time it'll be roughly the same once they all realize that I'm not out to fuck them and I'm just here to try to help them. And we'll go from there.
Well, besides PSN, I want one little quick shout out that they've gotten zero love. Want to give I know it's a little late, like a month late. Congratulations to the Buffalo Sabres on PSN for winning the cup in season 2. Congratulations to Schroyer and all of them. They had a really good team, but I don't think I don't think any of those guys are coming back on that team. They beat us in the playoffs, so I always like to lose to the cup champions. If I'm gonna put someone over in the playoffs, they better win the cup. So they did. It was a nice little Xbox versus PS4 rivalry.
For sure.
It was a lot of fun. Like Hayes was the one doing all the shit talking, even though he was like the worst player on the team. It was actually quite funny. But yeah, I actually had a lot of fun playing on PS4. I may play there again. Depends if I want to shell out the full price for the game.
It's too bad you can't game share between consoles. It'd be fucking wicked.
All right, so Brodie, I think I've allowed, because I want to end this at 9 o'clock on the dot. As everyone watching again, the media team will be doing the award show at 9 o'clock. That'll be New Jalefi AO. I don't know who else is doing it, so just stay tuned here.
Maybe FSU.
FSU
I know
might be doing it. Yeah.
The four of them are the ones that were in charge of the awards this year, so they handled all of it. So
stick around. At 9 o'clock, they'll be doing the award show. So we have 20 minutes here, Brodie. Plenty of time.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the best time of the show, as always. We do the Q&A with the viewers. They have carte blanche to ask you anything they want. Guys, don't ask him how many fucking cats he saved out of trees. We don't want to know that. All right, so I'm taking that away now. We don't want to know how many cats he saved out of trees as a firefighter. I mean, the guy puts out fires in real life and on the virtual hockey ice. I mean, the guy is a stud. And look at him. Look at Brodie. The guy's a good-looking guy, man. Look at this guy. This guy looks fantastic. So, all right, so we'll take some questions from the viewers here. We got a good 20 minutes here, so you guys can ask away. I know there's a slight delay between when I'm talking and you guys see it. So I'll let the questions come in. Brodie, I hope you're ready for this. It's going to get intense.
Oh, it normally does, because people ask some pretty funny shit sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Wicked says, when do owner signups open for ECHL, and how many teams do you think we will have?
That's a good question. So I'm hoping to do a media release this week. I get my wisdom teeth pulled on Tuesday, so maybe Thursday, Friday this week. Just strictly ECHL. All I want to talk about is that, explain how it's going to work, blah, blah, blah. So end of this week, I'm going to post for ECHL owners, see how many people want it. There's 27 teams in the ECHL right now in NHL 17. So the most we're going to go with is 26 because of the scheduling. That being said, the guy that does our schedules is currently working on a 31-team NHL. So when Vegas comes to NHL 18, if they do, we can run 31 teams here.
Brodie, before you finish, can I ask you a honest question? You brought something up that's very important that I really think needs to be asked right here, right now.
Yeah.
Aren't you a little old to be having your wisdom teeth pulled?
My bottom two are already gone, and my top two aren't. So
what, you were okay. When I got my wisdom teeth pulled out, I had them all pulled out at once.
Yeah, they didn't. The dentist is kind of fucked. He pulled my bottom wisdom teeth. He broke this one, so I have to get that fixed. And then 2 weeks later, he had a heart attack, and then I haven't really I think he died. Like legit died. So I don't know what the fuck happened. And then I just kind of sandbagged it for like years. And then so I went to see the dentist because they were kind of bugging me about 2 weeks ago. And the dentist was just like, yeah, your top ones are like fully in, man. Just come in. I'll freeze you. We'll pull them. You'll be gone in like 20 minutes. So, yeah.
All right, so I'm trying to go through. There's a lot of troll questions. There's obviously a lot of troll questions that I'm not even going to bother asking. But some of them are pretty funny. There was a good one. Bake X, what happens when manager quits on the new system? How does that work with management? If they quit?
Okay, so 2-season ban. The system's already set up that they can't. So if you quit as a manager in hockey, you can buy your ban out, but only to play other leagues. It won't let you sign up for hockey for the length of 2 seasons. That's how it'll work. So you're gone for 2 seasons. See you later.
All right, there's a question somebody asked me that's really important that needs to be addressed right now.
Yeah.
I can't. Somebody's Hopkins asked me my thoughts on becoming. Did you watch my match, Brodie? I am now the new, reigning, defending, undisputed LGWE Universal Champion.
That doesn't surprise me, man. You play that game way too fucking much.
I'm the fucking champ. All right, let's go to the.
You should. Your next show, you gotta have like a belt on the whole time.
I should. I'm gonna get like a toy belt and wear it while I'm streaming. That's like I think that'd be elite.
All the time.
Let's see here. Hold on a second. What do you? Bryce is asking when I put my hat. Obviously, I'm not gonna answer that. Hold on a second. Foster wants to know how the fuck he ended up in CHL bidding last season.
Script. I told him this already. The guy doesn't fucking read though. Pretty much, it was an error in the not an error, but it's just like a loophole in the scripts that we found for player statuses. So basically, anyone that played prior to season 17 that only played like NHL, like say you played just LGHL, if you didn't reach 27 games, the system read you as a prospect. So if it reads you as your prospect, prospects automatically go to CHL bidding. Me and Triz were talking today, and we're going to probably fix it once the Memorial Cup's done next week. And we're going to add a stipulation in if you have 10 games in the NHL or 10 games in the AHL from pretty much season 1 to season 25, because there only was an NHL back in the day, 10 games will get you amateur status, which then gets you NHL, AHL, ECHL, CHL bidding. So it opens the floodgates to put you everywhere except the CHL, which is essentially why Foster is eligible to be management this year, because he has 12 NHL games from past seasons. So he'll be an amateur and an AGM this year.
Okay, so this is a good question. A couple guys asked this. This is actually a really good question. Limitations on NHL players taking AHL management. You want to explain that?
Yeah, so pretty much I don't have an issue with like one NHL player going to AHL to be manager. The problem is with the new system, I didn't want really good NHL players saying fuck it to NHL bidding and taking AHL management and then teaming up together and overpowering AHL teams. So the plan is one former good NHL manager / NHL good player per AHL management team. That's it. So I've got a lot of questions. So if you have questions about like your management team or how it's going to work, send them to me directly and I'll give you a nay or a yay. Like for example, like SD Mentor and Dudley Do-Right are taking a team together in the AHL. So like in my opinion, they're both not considered elite NHL players or managers. Even though they have played NHL, I don't mind that they're together. I just don't want Landon Nuge to go fucking run an AHL team.
I think Landon Nuge should run the AHL. Well, first off, let's address that for a second before we take any more questions. I think people have this idea that Nashville's going to be good next season with Cody, Freak, and Nuge as management. Nuge is the most useless manager ever. He's basically a free player who can't even put stats in. Cody is too busy with his job, and Freak, I love you, Freak, but he ain't doing dick as manager either. So I can't wait to see the shit show that Nashville's going to have next season. So just real quick aside there, I love you guys, but you're going to be shit next season. Johnny Hockey says, when is the Penn Winnipeg roster swap confirmed?
I got that PM today, and I'm waiting for Smirky to fucking do whatever Smirky does.
You better not. No,
yeah.
I'm shooting that down. I don't want Smirky in my division. Fuck
yeah,
that.
I'm pretty sure they're coming to your division, bud.
I want out. So if anyone wants a team swap with Dallas in the that weaker Eastern Conference division, hit me up. I think Zero Choice wanted to swap with me. I like his division now, so Zero.
I'd be alright with that.
Hit the Jerz up. We'll team swap. You can take Dallas. I'll take Washington.
I'm cool with that.
I don't think Zero Choice is gonna have a competitive team anyway. He might as well be a jobber for Smirky and Nuge anyway. I think I like that idea. Let's keep going through the questions here.
Yep.
Let's see here. Jesus Christ. Devin wants to know when do trades open up?
12 minutes. When I'm done with this, I'm gonna turn everything on, so you guys can fucking trade away. And whenever this show's done and I shut it down, give me 2 minutes, and NHL and AHL trades will be opened.
Bake wants to know, is there a certain record you have to have in the NHL to be considered elite? Haha. Well, first off, before you answer that, Brodie, Bake, let's be real here. You're not elite, and you should stay in the AH. Actually, Bake should probably go to the ECHL, if you know what I mean.
Take a demotion for a year, man. Work on your skills, and we'll call it a day.
So everyone wants me to end the show just because Brodie, you shouldn't have said that, because now nobody wants to watch anymore. Now they're saying, end the show, Jerz. We don't want to watch your fat ass anymore because we want to do trades like geeks. So,
Well, fuck them. We can just push it back an hour. I don't care.
The artist sound says, Jerz, tell Brodie that I already proved that for real. The SHL's elite, Jerz. Okay, I'll let any more questions, and then I'm going to do one more segment, Brodie. I always like this. The shows always do. I'm going to call it No BS.
Okay.
I'm going to throw out a bunch of reputable LG names.
Okay.
Real quick at you.
Yeah.
And I want you to say the first word that comes to mind about this LG personality.
Okay, go.
So I'm putting you on the clock. Well, I'm not even finished.
Fuck, I'm ready. Let's fucking do this.
All right, Nuge.
You know what? Well, I can't say one word.
Well, if you have to say a couple, go ahead.
I don't know, man. Like, being with him in Vancouver's been pretty good, so him and I have come a long way. I used to think he was just, like, one of those arrogant, fucking intelligent kids, but he's actually a pretty decent guy and is really good for the site and league.
Tristan Hodge.
Great guy. Like, we talk every fucking day, and we think the same, and that's why this is what it is.
Sweet Lou.
Cares a lot, which is good.
Cares a lot. You know you want to address the novels?
No, that's what I mean, man. He cares
Yeah.
he cares enough to write like fucking like 10-page essays on the site every day. Like, the guy's he's great for the league. I'm really glad that he's an owner, and I'm glad we're keeping him.
Let me next one I would think of. Brando Vito.
Congratulations. He come a long way. He's another one of those owners that kind of came from the bottom and worked his way up. So I'm happy to see you won the cup.
Smarky.
Him and I are pretty tight from back in the day when I gave him ownership when he was like fucking 13. Glad to see him back. Hopefully his Xbox doesn't shit the bed and he can actually build a team that wins.
Before we continue this brought a real idea.
Yeah.
If I put a gun to your head right now and I ask you between all your days in VHL and LGHL and all that, put a gun to your head, your life depends on it. 5 all-time greatest owners you've ever had.
Active D, RJ Yorkie, Swagger, you in main event that one year. And I got to go with Nick NHL, number 5.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to turn this fucking stream off. Nick NHL.
I just love the guy, man. Like, he just was competitive, won a cup, and talked shit, and like I don't know, he was fucking great for the league. I loved him back then. It was great. And he fucking rubbed Darth the wrong way all the time. It was hilarious.
So you don't think SU Soccer 9 is a good
See,
good
I can't, like, it's hard. You put me on the spot, man.
that's the whole point of my show. The whole point of my show is not to be positive. We're
Dave,
negative on my show.
Obviously, Dave. There's more than 5 fucking guys. Like, Dave's awesome as well too. But
all right,
the
so
first
the whole
5
chat-
those are the first 5 that came to my mind.
But Dave wasn't in your first 5. You thought me and Maine were better, and actually Dave didn't win a cup either. He choked just as much as me and Maine did. So
No, Dave won a cup under active though.
that doesn't count.
So I said Dave. That's essentially the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
So I think Dave should know for the rest of his career that he is not top 5 in Brodie McDonald's ideas. All right, so you said top 5 owners.
That's what I got for my fave 10, bud.
Top 5 all-time worst owners you've ever had. Top 5, and don't pull any punches.
No. Fuck. Gunner was terrible in Ottawa in VHL. That was headaches. SD Mentor quits everything he ever does. That's a pain in the ass. Fucking worst. I don't know, man.
There's more. Come on.
Briere sucks as an owner. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Briere's a terrible owner.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Briere is a fine gentleman.
He's a great guy.
He's a good
Honestly,
man.
Oh, he is. He's a really good guy, but he's a fucking brutal owner. Like, he should never be an owner. He should only be a manager.
Well, that's what he's doing now. So.
Who else? I'm trying to think.
Someone said Hands.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say he's worse. Like, I feel bad for him because like he really wants to do well. He just can't. So.
Someone said Jerz is the worst owner. He's a great guy. Laugh out loud.
Oh, you know what? I got number 5. It's got to be Nicky W. Has to be.
Nicky W.
Yeah.
Who is that? Nicky G, or is that a different Nicky?
No, it's a different guy. He was like owner for a couple seasons, and he was just like, cared a lot too. It just was like he just wanted to fight about everything. It was just fucking annoying.
Okay, so I'm gonna start throwing some more names at you. Okay, so we got 7 minutes here. This is perfect here. So some more names. So Nick NHL, first thing that comes to mind.
Good owner, good for the league, fucking hilarious.
SG Soccer 9. Tell us how you really feel about him.
Oh, I love Dave. Me and Dave talk all the time on Facebook. We're good guys. And his real name's Chris, not Dave.
that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
It's Dave. Everyone knows his name is Dave. That's all that matters. Devin.
I don't know. I don't really know what to say about Devin.
I don't really know. I just said because that's the last words. What do you think of Leafy TV? The token woman that plays in this league.
I think she takes a lot of fucking abuse, and I'm glad that she's still kicking around and doing stuff for the league, and I think she's good for the league.
How do you feel about a guy like AO who posts novels and tries to tell the league how it should be run, but when it comes to step up and be a man and do management, he runs away?
I always liked AO. I had no problem with him at all. What he posted was one opinion, one side of the coin, one side of the fence, but I'd love to see him be a manager, like actually run a team with someone, because he's really good at the game, and he's off the no management list, so you can fucking do it.
Wait, AO was he was manager, but he wasn't owner.
I don't think he's ever been an owner. He was always just a man.
Oh my God! Before we end the show, it's been a while now. Everyone's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Can you give a quick synopsis of what happened in VHL season 10?
Yeah, that's with the Murph thing.
Yes, I never got the story.
Okay. Oh fuck. So basically, there was talk that account on Washington, was it? Yeah, Washington. Was a second account. People were sharing it. Blah 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 blah. So when we went in the back end of the actual admin, we noticed that account didn't actually sign up. It was created by Lghl Foley. So that's a telltale sign that something's going on. It had IP hits to a bunch of people, but back then the system sucked, so it was very hard to tell who was who. When it came down to it, it didn't post on the website, which is another telltale sign that you're trying to hide something. So I brought it to all run with Devil, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is a second account. Someone's playing on it. I think we should just say fuck it, ban the account. Not eliminate the team. Just ban the fucking account and say it's not playing, blah, blah, blah. And that was going into the finals is when I came to all that. He said, no, can't do it. You don't have enough proof, blah, 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 blah. So essentially that account played on that team. They won a Stanley Cup, and it's like tarnished and tainted because... And that was, I believe, the beginning of all of this fucking second tag bullshit is because of that.
Have you spoken with former Devil at all?
Once in a while, maybe like once a year. I talk to him here and there. So
what was your reaction to knowing that LeagueArena.com no longer exists?
It's bittersweet. You know, that's where we started, and that's where I got my start. So at the same time, though, they really got what they deserved. They treated us all like shit, and I just think at the very end, how everyone got treated at the very end was pretty brutal, and I'm glad where we are now, and so it's very, very bittersweet for me to see where they are right now.
All right, so let me give you some more names.
Yep.
Flash Davin.
I don't know. Don't really know what to say.
Tell us how you really feel about Flash Davin.
He's a terrible owner.
He is a terrible owner. Have you seen what he wears, though? The guy wears jorts.
Really?
He wears jorts, dude.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And he's gotten so tan, like, I think he cooked his brain.
Is he one of those guys that has, like, the sides, like, shaved right down, and it's all,
he wears, like, a collar shirt and jorts, and he's, like, 5'4".
Wow.
Yeah, and he's, like, really tan, yeah.
Fuck.
So,
Cool.
who else do I'm taking? Okay, Big J.
He's fucking emo. He's emo, man.
Oh, Baby. Buddy Rob.
Oh, I fucking love Buddy Roberts. He's a little bit intense, and it's going to be interesting to see how he is as a manager, but Buddy Roberts' streams are fucking hilarious. He just needs to be a little bit nicer to people, and we'll be good.
No, you don't want him to be nice to people. That's his gimmick.
I love him. He's awesome, man. Like, his shit. He sounds like... If you ever watch Letterkenny, he sounds just like those fucking guys.
Have you ever heard him chug a gallon of water? It's pretty legit. I'm impressed. Let me go through here some more names. What do you think of Panda?
I like Panda. He talks too much sometimes.
Can you explain to me the Buffalo situation? What was that all about?
He came to me and said, you want to take over Buffalo? I was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, okay, I'll put him there for now. LOL came back and said, because I sent like probably 60 PMs to everyone talking about who wants to go where as I try to manipulate where I wanted people. LOL was like, well, I got management. I was like, okay, well, who do you got? And he was like, well, it's going to be me. I think he said Jemima and Foster. And I was like, fuck, that'll be all right. So I was like, I'll just move. That's his team. He was there already. And that's hard to like bounce a guy who was management already. So I was like, okay, maybe Panda will take something else. And then he got all pissed off and rattled, and that was that.
It worked for me. The only person that got left out was Panda. So sorry, Panda. What do you think of Bryson?
Oh, he's wicked. Talk to him on Facebook every day. He's in Vegas right now, getting drunk as fuck, probably.
He's in Vegas, yet he's watching us.
Wow, what? Really? What the fuck is he watching us?
He's in the chat. He's sitting in. He went to Vegas so he can watch LG.
Us.
He can watch us. So
yeah, that makes sense. Him and Dunks are fucking hanging out there drinking, watching them.
What do you think of Chislett?
I like Chislett. He's a good owner, quiet, so good.
If you could name one guy that's not around the community anymore that you truly wish would come back, that you feel like would make a big difference, who would it be?
Oh.
He's not on your cell phone. You got caught there.
Oh yeah, I'm looking down at it. No, I don't know. There was someone the other day that kind of came to mind that I was like, "Fuck, I wish he would come back."
Oh,
If 2 seasons ago, it would have been active D.
Okay. What do you think about Mark Savard? And I want to know why he gets like a special box around his name because he got knocked the fuck out by Matt Cook 6 years ago.
Oh
Who
my
cares?
God. I like Savard, man. Like he's been pretty good to me. Got a guy I work with, retired after 35 years in the fire service, and he's a diehard Bruins fan. So I got a jersey signed for Mark for him.
He's a fireman?
Yeah, the guy that retired got a Savard jersey.
Okay.
From me, so
he's a nice guy.
He's a stand-up guy, man.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know him at all. Like I know a lot of kids.
He takes this pretty intense, which is kind of cool. But I've always liked Mark. So and he donated $1,000 to buy us new servers. So people can get fucking mad all you want. He gave us $1,000 to buy new servers.
I have no beef with him. I'm kidding. I'm just not one of those kids that put him on a pedestal like others. Like if like a pro wrestler joined the website, I'd be like virtually sucking his dick because I'm a pro wrestling fan.
He's just like all of us, man. He's a pretty good guy.
So
he trolls as fucking hard as everyone else.
I'll answer your question. The one guy that can make a big difference in the community. You want to know who that guy is? Actually, it's 2 guys.
Okay, go.
$2.
Oh yeah,
make
fuck
a
yeah.
massive difference in the community.
Yeah,
he's
fuck
hiding.
Yeah.
He's in hiding. Apparently, he has special parties that only a few people are allowed to join.
He's probably in the league on a fucking tag somewhere.
Probably.
Because he moved to Europe, so he can be a whole new IP.
And I think Darth Forswick should have a presence on the website again. I don't know what he's doing anymore. I always thought he was a geek, and I thought it was weird that he spoke to his cats and did a show. But it was good to have, so I thought he was a good presence. So
he got married and grew up. So
he needs to get his priorities in order. That's ridiculous.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
So I'm gonna end this with one last question, Brodie.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fucking Jerz, the reigning, defending, undisputed LGWE Universal Champion?
That's fucking unreal, bud. Big win. Well, Golski. Who the fuck is Golski, anyways? Right? Like you probably dominated. What was it over in like 2 minutes?
I whooped his ass, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I'm glad, man. I'm glad you're doing media. Like you had some pretty epic, legendary VHL posts the odd time that brought the community together. So I'm glad to see that you're doing this, and because it's been good, man. Your show's been fucking like funny. People love it. The chat box is blowing up all the time.
I love it. I actually truly enjoy doing this. I have a lot of fun doing this.
You're doing a hell of a job too. So
I really enjoy this. I really thank you. So a big thank you to Brodie. You've done a fantastic job as commissioner for Lghl Gaming. You've obviously done it for VHL for many years. So obviously a big shout out to Tristan, who's done an incredible job on the website. And a big shout out to the media team. Big shout out to Sweet Lou, who got the media team together and really got me involved. Obviously not me doing what I'm doing. Obviously people want to bash on Nuge. A big shout out to Nuge. He's a big part of the community. I don't care what you say. To Nuge, Leafy, AO, Nene, everyone on the media team. A big shout out to everyone, to all the owners, to the guys that have stepped up. I'm looking forward to the new season.
Yeah, me too.
I will be doing this show on the regular every Sunday at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, whichever works. So I think everyone should stick around. I think the media team is now getting ready to do the Season 24 NHL Awards that I have no clue about. Brodie has no clue about.
I don't know who won. All I know who was nominated. So
only know who's nominated. But I think we'll end it with that. Brodie, you have anything else you want to close with? I think I'm pretty good.
No, I'm good, man. This was a pretty good show. So I got everything off that I wanted to say. So this was great.
All right, so thanks, guys. Guys, stay tuned. I'm going to host Nuge's channel. If you want to go now, it'll be on the front page also, twitch.tv/NugeTV. They'll be doing the media. The media team will be doing the NHL Season 24 awards very shortly. Thank you again, guys. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night.
Take care. Thanks, everyone, for watching, like as always.